day I was flicking through my cookbooks because why not? Specifically Christmas cookbooks, because again, why not? While I was doing my meal planning, I was kind of like, I don't know, just having a little look. And I specifically kind of was drawn to this one. This is Jamie Oliver's Christmas cookbook. I acquired this last year. I got this off of a friend. And I didn't, because I got it kind of like last year, I didn't really use it that much. And I was just kind of like flicking through, trying to get some ideas. And a recipe in here caught my attention for a couple of reasons. And I'll just show it to you. Called the Retro Layered Salad. See the picture there, sorry, the dust jacket got over it, so hopefully you can see that. The Retro Layered Salad, and it caught my eye, and I thought I'd give it a go, and I thought, why not give it a go on camera? So it looks pretty epic. I haven't read the instructions yet. I've bought the ingredients. I haven't read the instructions. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make this dome, but it really intrigued me. So it's currently summer. It's August. It's warm. So I thought salad. Yeah, we eat a lot of salads this time of year. Perfect. So yeah, you know, like I'm flipping through here. There's like loads of roasty stuff, and I don't really fancy like turning my oven on and doing a roasty, so I was like, salad. Secondly, so every year when I was younger, at Christmas, we always had a prawn cocktail for starters on Christmas Day, no matter what. That is just always what my parents did. Always had a prawn cocktail. Now this does have prawn cocktail in it. Can you see the prawns there? We don't eat prawns, we don't eat fish, we don't eat meat. We are largely vegan in this household, but we're not strict vegans. We definitely don't eat any meat or fish. I buy dairy-free bread, I buy dairy-free milk, but we're not strict. So we kind of try to cut down, but you know, not strict, but we're veggies. So I won't be making the prawns, but it just kind of it just had that reminiscence for me. Do you know what I mean? Of Christmases gone past, that prawn cocktail, prawns in Marie Rose sauce with iceberg lettuce, brown bread with a thick layer of butter on it. That was our Christmas Day starter, and that has really fond memories. So when I saw this, he calls it Retro Layered Salad. I saw this, I thought, I'm gonna have to do this, and I thought I'd give it a go on camera. So, are you with me? Let's see if I can pull this off, and if I can pull it off, maybe it will feature at Christmas. I don't know whether I'll revive it for Christmas, but it'll be a nice salad for us to have for dinner anyway. Okay, so the first thing I want to say about this recipe is the sheer amount of bowls needed. You can tell that Jamie Oliver probably doesn't do his own washing up. I have a dishwasher, but it's broken. It broke at Christmas last year. And so I have to hand wash everything. And the more the bowls are coming out, the more I was like, really? Is this necessary? And the recipe, I used one of my big bowls first, because I didn't read through the whole recipe. So I used one of my big bowls first, and then kind of realised that I shouldn't have done that because I needed a big bowl for later on. But there we go. So yeah, lots of bowls needed for this, and therefore lots and lots of washing up. Now the cucumber, you had to put the cucumber into a bowl with some salt and some vinegar to it says to pickle it, and you do that at the beginning, and then so it kind of like, you know, infuses, I guess, pickles while you're doing the rest of the recipe. In my opinion, couldn't really taste the difference. If I'm honest, like I would probably just leave the cucumber as just cut up cucumber. So, and the other thing is that you were supposed to I think it was like roast tomatoes, and then basically make your own passata with tomatoes, but cooking the tomatoes and then blending the tomatoes and all that kind of business. And I was just like,
I don't know if I could be bothered to do all that because it's sort of quite in depth. So you just basically needed a passata. So I just opened a box of passata up that I'd got in the cupboard rather than cooking my own tomatoes and everything. And I don't think you could really tell, if I'm honest. And you added some balsamic vinegar into that. Well, yeah, do I think it made a difference? I don't really think it did because all the flavours kind of together in this salad, like, you know, literally everything ended up mixing up together once it got on the plate. And so I don't really feel like it massively benefited from it. Likewise, the sweet corn. So the sweet corn was mixed with spring onion, olive oil and black pepper. I don't really feel like the sweet corn needed olive oil adding to it. I don't really feel like I would omit that the next time, to be honest. So, yeah. There's a few things I feel like it was sort of like, you know, that's one of the things sometimes I have with like the bugbear I have with like celebrity chefs is sometimes they like overcomplicate things for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean? Like there's not really... maybe that's my layman's perspective, but I really didn't feel like it needed all that extra jazz. I saved some of the shells, the pasta shells, cooked shells, for the kids because just in case they kind of saw this and were like, ugh. And I did save, like I still have cucumber and sweet corn, and I basically saved a bit of everything, separately in case they just really, really hated the thing. The cling film, oh my goodness, I very rarely use cling film. I'm not a lover of cling film because obviously it's like single-use plastic. And also I end up getting myself in a right old pickle with it because it just sticks to each other. So that was a bit of a faff. I mean, it kind of was worth it. It did work in the end, but yeah, I just kept getting stuck to everything, and yeah, I was at the point. One point, I was just going to be like, you know what? Let's just not bother. It was quite fun layering it all up and getting it to go. I was still really skeptical. I just really couldn't see how I was gonna pull this off. Do you know what I mean? I was really, really skeptical about it. I didn't use anywhere near as much salad leaves as the recipe said, purely because we're growing our own salad leaves, and I needed to go in the garden and harvest some, but some of them weren't quite ready yet, so I didn't quite have enough salad leaves. I don't think that made much difference to the recipe particularly. And you know what? The recipe says 3 punnets of cress, right? I used 1 punnet of cress because I just felt like that was quite a lot of cress. We, like, the children aren't mad keen on cress. I like cress, but I just felt like 3 punnets of cress was just way too much cress for my liking. So yeah, I just used 1 punnet. And as I mentioned, we're veggies, so I didn't use prawns. But so to add like a bit of extra protein and to replace the prawns, I used a tin of I think they were haricot beans. I probably should have really put more beans in, and I think you could kind of put like a nice mix of like haricot, cannellini, butter beans, that kind of thing, just for the extra protein. I mean, you know, you got a lot of salad there, but the Marie Rose sauce definitely adds to the overall recipe, and I kind of felt that like if we just had the sauce, it would be a bit kind of weird. So yeah, that's why I added the beans to it, and I'm glad I did actually. It kind of added, like, as I say, you know, a bit of extra protein, but also it kind of gave a bit of a different texture, and obviously they're sort of soft, a bit like the prawns. So yeah, it's quite fun, you know, seeing it all all come together. Again, like just putting some basil in now, and the recipe said basil. I bought basil. We do use basil quite a lot at home. My basil has not grown very well because my children keep eating it. But again, if you don't have basil at home, and I probably would say just don't really bother, because it was just to add a little bit of basil to that kind of like tomatoey sauce, but I feel like the salad could probably do okay without it. The recipe said red Leicester cheese. I didn't buy that. I just bought some normal white cheddar cheese, and I didn't put anywhere near as much in as the recipe said to. I had to adjust the cling film because that started to kind of like all kind of collapse inwards, so I had to sort of like pull it all back out again. And then the recipe says to squash it down with a plate to kind of get that all kind of like squashed in there, and I actually got the plate stuck in, so I had to leverage it out with a spoon. So I'm glad I used this plastic bowl, which was a little bit more kind of movable, pliable than the metal one. So it's a case of like wrapping it up in cling film, and then you put the plate back on with something heavy. So I used my pestle and mortar, which I love. I absolutely love that thing, but I hardly ever use it if I'm honest. So yeah, I just pushed it down and then put it in the fridge. I think it said for a minimum of like 2 hours, but you could do it overnight. I think ours ended up being like 4 hours. So yeah, because I did it at lunchtime, and then sort of in the morning, and then yeah, we had it later on in the day. So yeah, then you just have to tip it out like a bit like a sandcastle. And this is where I was really skeptical, because I thought it was all just gonna plop and just be a complete mess, like a complete disaster and a what on earth have I done kind of moment. But it actually worked, so I was quite surprised. The kids looked at it and were like, what is that? The kids were not impressed. I enjoyed it. It was something different. I enjoyed it. It was a hot day, so it was kind of nice to have something, and like a nice cold salad. It said in the thing to have that as like a table piece for a buffet, but honestly, like when I cut into it to serve it, that it sort of collapsed. So I don't think it would be great as a centerpiece for a buffet, but I definitely think you could bring it out on your Christmas table and then serve it out for starters. But then equally, it's quite a lot. You might be quite full. You might not want that much. But yeah, definitely a success, and I'd definitely do it again, but with just those few amendments. So I wouldn't perhaps make it quite as fancy. Yeah, I definitely think it'd probably be too filling for a starter for Christmas, but at some point over the Christmas period, it probably would be quite a nice addition to some sort of buffet. And if you're feeling really sluggish with all the carbs and treats and all that, it probably would be a nice welcome relief. So it is a thumbs up from me, but just with a few twerks and modifications. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and maybe you'll give it a try too. Thanks for watching.